We've all been there, our worst nightmare. We visit the local RC hobby shop to pick up some paint, but we come back with something unexpected. Now, do you feel lucky? Well, do you? Only one thing stands between you and your new prize. You've just gotta get it inside. If you can hold your nerve, you might just make it. No!
Hi and welcome to RCKicks. On today's show we're focusing back on my Gold Pan RC10s. Now if you didn't see the last video on these cars, I'll put a link up here. Since that video I've managed to source some new tyres for my original A-stamp car, which I've now fitted. They're not exactly the same as the originals. The compound seems to be a bit different and also the lettering is different, but to try and source some original, here we go, here's the original ones that are worn out. They're kind of a soft compound. On the originals you actually have Team Associated written on them and then their logo. On the reproduction ones you actually get something that just says Pro Line Champion, and then it just says Made in USA 1198 or six maybe. So they are different, but the tread pattern is the same, but they do feel like they're made of a different material. Also the front ones are kind of the same, but they are a different compound. They say Team Associated on them as well, and there's no numbers. Is there any new numbers on this one? This one just says Proline Edge and it says 1195 on it, but it feels more like what you'd know as a normal tyre, where these ones, they just feel a bit different. They're kind of strange tyres, kind of soft felt kind of feel to them, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So unfortunately I can't get brand new original ones, but really ones bring the car up a little bit. Also you might have noticed that I now have the correct body on the car. This is a reproduction body that I got from Penguin. It's not as good as the original, but it's good enough. I used the original from the Riri to give me my lines, and I've just cut it out and just offered it up and fitted it. So next after that is to sand all the edges down and paint the body. Now I'm going to paint them exactly the same. I've got original Riri decals for my Riri, obviously, because it came with the box and everything, but I picked up some MCI ones. I placed an order about 4 or 5 days ago, so it'll take a few weeks for those to arrive. Next I've got to give this car a good clean through really, and then put some electronics in it. It needs a receiver and things like that, and then this car needs everything in it. Receiver, servo, steering servo, motor, hasn't got a motor in it, and a few other bits and pieces, but I want to get it running. Trying to get hold of vintage kit that's in really good condition is A, difficult, and B, quite expensive, but I'll keep looking around and hopefully I'll find something that will look really cool in this car. So why do I come focusing on my RC10s now before I've actually painted the bodies up and things like that? Well, yeah, you know, I'm kind of a dumbass, and you know, it was a bit of a stretch for me to get these two cars, and then I sold a 2001 like I explained in the last video. Well, it seems that I can't really control myself. Once I get into a car, I start looking at all different variants of it, and yes, I went and got another one. Baffles me. Don't ask me where it comes from, I have no idea. But I've picked up something even more special. One of these. Now, this is obviously not in box art. This is an RC10 Graphite, which, what does that mean if you don't know? Well, it's the car that came after the RC10 when they tried to compete with the lossy cars that were out that were using graphite. So it was a competition kind of thing where the RC10 was getting a bit long in its tooth, so they swapped the chassis over. It wasn't just a chassis change they actually changed a few other bits and pieces. The wheel track is much wider. I don't know if you can see that, but it is much wider than the original one. And as well as a few other bits and pieces that were upgraded to improve the steering and stuff like that. So it's got a different upright, different arms, and there's a few other bits and pieces that I can't remember. Now this came out in 1989 under kit 6025. These are quite hard to find and actually more rare than the RC10 Gold Pans are. But I was lucky enough to find one in Europe, which I picked up not that long ago, only a few days ago. But I was lucky because it is in really good condition. He said that it was never driven. Now I can't prove either way whether it was or not. There is no actual driving marks in it going from, you know, as the car would move along. There is a few little scratches along there, and there's one here, but they look like more like storage marks and things like that over the years. Also, it doesn't look like there's too much marks where things were attached to the graphite chassis. There's a little tiny scratch up here, but these are all very surface. There is no real impact damage at the front of the plate either. Well, being that there's no bumper, you would think it wouldn't take much to actually damage that section. So it comes with a servo, as you can see, but there is no electronics in this one either. But it did come with the correct motor. I haven't taken it out yet, but I'll put a picture up here showing you which one it is. But it's definitely the one. It's definitely one of theirs, but I can't read it and I haven't taken it out yet. So I'll put a picture up here because after this I will take it out and have a look at it. So it's only just turned up. Tyres all look perfect. They don't look like they've been run at all. Now he said that it was missing a back plate. Now from what I've looked, I've downloaded the manual and had a good look at it, and it doesn't even reference one, so I don't think there is one. But I did look around quickly on the internet and I've seen people that take an old Gold Pan and cut that section off the back and then make it into a bracket, because there is two holes here. So I don't know whether it was a case of there was an optional bracket that you could get. There must have been, because why would they put these two holes in here? Also, you would think that there would be a bumper, a plastic bumper over this of some sort, and I have seen some cars with a plastic bumper here, but I don't know if that's just an aftermarket or that was an optional extra that was done. Wheels are very different, and I really like them. They're very 80s. Also, the body that came with it wasn't painted up that well, but I do like the colour schemes. I do have a spare body that came with that car, which is not exactly the same. I don't think it's exactly the same. No, it's not quite the same. I could put that body on it. I did look at what the box art is, and it's like a dark, well, it's like a blue colour with some kind of like red and yellow bits, which I quite liked, so I might do a box art one. It's also missing a cover that should be on here. There's a little bit of rust on the arms, the adjustable arms, but that shouldn't be too difficult to take care of. So I'm quite happy with that. And the rest of the car is actually in really good condition, so I'm happy with it from that point of view, and I think I can bring it back to a really nice crisp condition. It has yellowed a little bit at the front, but that's something that I can address as well. There's a few ways to make them go back to being white. But yeah, so what do you think? I mean, they're pretty rare in Europe, so I'm really chuffed. But I might have to trade in a few other cars since I'm upgrading to these kind of cars, which are a bit more heavy hitting than some of my other ones on the cool wall. So there you go. I just wanted to do a quick overview and show you what I've got. I will blast them around the garden when I get them painted up, but at the moment I seem to just be lining up more and more projects. I'm about 10 cars into needing painting bodies. So yeah, it's going to get very busy soon. I've only got one more week at work and that's it. And then after that I can do full beans on these. So stay tuned for that one. Anyway, Thanks very much. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Check out one of these RC Kicks videos for some more RC fun.